Welcome to the 28th episode of Dear Michelle Obama, the podcast, aka Dear Michelle. I am your host, Anonymous. In the last episode, titled Where I Belong, I described meeting the two girls who become my college best friends and the boy I plan to marry. In this episode, titled University Blues, the college makes an unexpected change, and my relationship with basketball takes an interesting turn. A few quick administrative notes. This episode does not contain either the intro letter or the exit note to Michelle Obama. Here, take a listen. I am shocked, disappointed, devastated. I cannot believe Oasis made this decision. It completely disrupts my plans. I must now choose whether I want to remain at Oasis or reapply to Spelman College. Wine approaches. She's giddy. I can tell by the look on her face there's something she wants to ask. She slows her pace when she sees the look on my face. "What's wrong?" she asks. I tell her that the summer before I arrived, Oasis phased my major. They no longer offer communications. This means that my plan to become an award-winning journalist will need to be placed on hold. I tell her that I'm thinking of leaving the college. "Why would you want to do that? The college has other options. Choose one. I'm going to be a government major. Maybe you should too, and we can take classes together. Or try English. All you ever do is talk about writing anyway." "But I really wanted to be a communications major," I reply. "So," she says, "be a government major or an English major or both." "But I had plans," I replied. "Plans change. It will be okay," she says. "Anyway, I came over to ask if you'd had a chance to ask Waterboy to the dance. In case you're wondering, Oasis is having the Sadie Hawkins dance. In the days before people begin dancing in groups, men typically ask women to dance. In the Sadie Hawkins dance, women ask men. Girls ask boys to dance." I pause and consider that I actually haven't given this dance much thought. Wine calls my bluff. "Girl, stop tripping. Everyone on this campus knows that you're going to ask Waterboy. You just need to do it." "Not everybody," I replied. Today, a junior stood at the bank of sinks in the bathroom and hinted that she is going to ask him to go with her. "Girl, stop. Who is it?" Wine asked. "It doesn't matter. She won't ask," I replied. "How do you know?" Wine says. "Well, I told her that I was going to ask him out and that I would be very, very upset if she asked instead." Glass approaches. "Ask him," Wine says. "He likes you and you like him." I love Wine, but this is something that I never expected. Not from her. "I can't believe you just lied to me," I say. "You're a horrible, horrible liar," I reply matter-of-factly. I don't know what you're talking about," Wine says, her usual enthusiasm gone. Big Bird approaches. Wine and Glass grow tense. Big Bird is 6'2" of chocolate and crazy. Each time Big Bird sees the three of us, she wastes no time telling us that we are not wanted at Oasis, which is probably code for the fact that Big Bird doesn't want us at Oasis. She used to focus her attention on Glass and Wine, but when she discovers I date basketball, all that hot, hateful energy shifts to me, and it gets personal. Like the day she leans in close to tell me that none of the boys at Oasis really like me, and that I will be used up and spit out the second next year's freshman class of female cuties arrive. On another occasion, she announces that she's spoken with my mama, and that my mama asked Big Bird to keep an eye out on me. I ask her how she contacted my mama. Big Bird informs me that she telephoned her. I long, heavy sigh, sister girl side eye, head roll my eyes at her. Big Bird is a joke. She may have spoken with a mama on the telephone, but it wasn't my mama. We still don't have a telephone. I don't out Big Bird. I toy with her. Whenever she walks over to harass us, I stand there listening, waiting for her to give up or walk away or decide she has invested enough time and energy into hazing us. And one day, she corners the three of us and is going on and on and on about how boys only see us as our random body parts and not as whole women, and the boys here don't really like us. I mumble something under my breath about her being bitter. She turns to face me like a snake ready to bite. She pauses, rattles, and strikes. Her bites, venomous and loathsome, come hard and fast. Now bitten, I wait. Eventually, she will loosen her grip. She will run out of body parts to criticize. And time. It takes a while, but eventually Big Bird turns and Stomp walks away. Wine looks at Glass. Glass looks perplexed. Wine looks over at me and asks if I'm afraid. Of Big Bird, I ask? Wine nods. Girl, bye. I'ma get her. I just haven't figured out how, I say. Wine grows concerned. Anonymous, Big Bird is twice your size. I don't want you to get hurt. I chuckle. I tell them I need to go. I have plans, plans that will take up most of the day. Since Oasis phased the communications major, I have decided to formally declare government as my major. But first, I need to stop by the financial aid office. I've been summoned. I've been at the college for 3 months. In that 3 months, I've been summoned to the financial aid office at least 4 times. Each time, I have the exact same conversation with the woman in charge of my financial aid. She tells me Oasis will withdraw me unless I can come up with a ridiculous sum of money. Each time I get summoned, I draw in a deep breath before I point out that my family has been on welfare for the past 12 years and that the school knows this because in the days before the internet and applications go online and applying for college is a streamlined process, I take a pen and write across the top of my paper application for admission and each paper application for financial aid in large black letters, my family is broke. Each time I find myself having this ridiculous conversation, I direct the woman's attention to this statement on the papers inside the manila envelope which sits on her desk that bear my name. I tell her that my family's lack of money is now Oasis's problem because let's face it, the college could have admitted any number of highly intelligent black girls from the inner city with average grades and incredible grit. But they decided to admit my broke and crazy behind. I go on to tell her that quite frankly, there's a lot that I need in my life, but monthly reminders that my family is still too poor to financially contribute to a school where the tuition is literally thousands of times the amount of my mama's welfare check is not one of them. Each time I leave her office, she hates me just a little bit more. This isn't about my family not having money. No, we are way past that. This is personal for her. This is the highlight of her month. The day she gets to call me into her office to remind me that I'm broke and don't belong. I hear it in her voice each time she suggests that perhaps I should consider attending another college, one less expensive and far more suited to someone of my quote, particular constitution. She enunciates the words. It is code for, and excuse my French, nigga, you don't belong here. She digs in. So I dig in. And always, always, she miraculously finds the money I need. Sometimes that money comes in the form of a loan, and other times it comes in the form of a grant. One day it comes in the form of a job. I start work at the school library. I earn $200 every 2 weeks. It isn't a lot of money, but it's something. I get to contribute. Oh, yeah, in case you're wondering, there's a precedent for my inclination to place handwritten messages on printed documents. There's a gaggle of students that stand in a line that wraps around the building where classes are taught. The most sought after class this semester is taught by a prominent Black Studies professor. He isn't just any Black Studies professor, he's a famous writer, a former friend of Langston Hughes and Bell Hooks. The rumor is that he once dated Maya Angelou. He's earned himself the reputation of being both a great instructor and an easy grader. He only admits 15 students into his class, and it's rare that freshmen get in. By the time I get to the front of the line, there are already over 100 signatures on the waiting list. He tells me it's pointless for me to sign up. I ask him for the pen. He pleads with me not to sign up. I am unmoved. After several minutes of this back and forth, he begins to get weary. He assumes the best way to get rid of me is to let me sign my name on the waiting list and let the college tell me I need to select another course. He gifts me his magic pen. I flip to the first page, draw a line above the first name on the sign-in sheet, and add a -1 in front of my name. He throws his head back and howls with laughter. He declares on the spot that I'm allowed to attend his class. I bow to him when I take the dollar bill we bet and dance my way down the stairs. The students in the line behind me gawk as I pass by. Waterboy is on his way to take care of an administrative matter. Our eyes meet as I descend the stairs. He drops his head. I walk over and ask if he wants to attend the Sadie Hawkins dance with me. He says it's too late. Someone else has already asked him. I tell him to go back and tell whoever it is that asked that he made a mistake and that he intends to go with me. He tells me that he only accepted because he assumed I was going to the dance with basketball. I laugh. I tell him that I'm not and ask if he'd like to attend with me. Waterboy mumbles imperceptibly. I tell him I can't hear him. He tells me that he likes me, but that he doesn't want any trouble. Trouble? Why would there be any trouble? I ask. Waterboy stifles a laugh and asks me if I'm still wet. I smile, and before I know it, we're standing on the landing doubled over with laughter. You see, a few weeks ago, I purchased a water gun. I waited until most students were in their rooms. I filled up the water gun, knocked on doors, and bam! As soon as unsuspecting students, most of them upper class males, opened their doors, I sprayed them, laughed, and then ran. I did this each night for weeks until one night, my water gun mysteriously disappears. A week or so later, in the middle of the night, I hear a knock on my door. I open it. Standing in front of me is one of the upperclassmen I doused with my water gun. This new level devil dumps an entire bucket of water on me. It takes me days to dry up the water. But I learned my lesson. When our laughter quiets, Waterboy asks again what I plan to do about basketball. Nothing, I replied. I don't have to do a thing. What Waterboy doesn't know is that basketball has a secret. Basketball thinks his secret will devastate me. He thinks it will bring me to my knees, that he can wield it against me like a weapon. He cannot. I have known his secret, quite possibly, from the moment he conceived of it. I know it, and I keep it to myself. It is pointless to confront him. Guilt will betray him. Time is my friend. I just need to be patient and wait until his time runs out, just like the seconds on a shot clock. Hello, and thank you for listening to the award-winning Dear Michelle Obama, the podcast, aka Dear Michelle. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, and share. If you wish to contact me, email me at dearmichelle@yahoo.com or tweet me at dearmichelle4. Join me next time for episode 29 titled Hoop Dreams, where I bond with basketball and uncover a lie. Until next time, bye-bye!